So, in the spirit of the quick review series, I'm going to try to make this as quickly as I can. But trust me, I could go on and on and on about this game for hours and hours on end. This is like my 10th take on this because I keep rambling about the game. So I'm just going to try to make this as quickly as I can, under 10 minutes, so you kind of know what's going on. So let's hop into it.
Against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
First off, before we get into it at all, I just wanted to say that this is one of the best games that I have played in a very, very, very long time. And yeah, I just wanted to say that, so let's get into this quickly. Starting off with sound in this game. The sound in a game is very important because it, sets the whole mood for everything. Now, most people don't really even notice the music in the game, but with Doom, you do. It matches what's going on, and it matches the feel of the level and what the player is doing so perfectly that I have not heard of anybody else or any other game reviewers talk about the music and the sound of a game as much as they have with Doom. I have never listened to an original game soundtrack outside of playing the game besides this one because it's just so good. And I have never looked up who composed a game sound other than this game alone, which is, of course, Gordon. Gordon did such a great job with this game and with the soundtrack that it truly brings, it's kind of like the icing on the cake. It brings everything together so much. Like, if the music was very stale and staggered like it is in a lot of other games, it wouldn't work as well, and I would probably be not even talking about the music. But he did such a good job and such an amazing job with this that I felt like I had to give it a lot of time. And I'm even gonna dedicate some time for y'all just to hear the difference between whenever you're out of combat and then whenever you get thrown into combat. Now let's talk about the progression system. With a lot of games, think of Skyrim. Your progression system is you kill some baddies, you level up, you get some skill points. That's what it is for a lot of games. I mean, either it'll be you finish a mission and then you get the skill points, or along the way by killing baddies, you get the points, and then you get better weapons and you stop using your old weapons. In Doom, this is thrown out the window. The progression system in this game is so amazing because it's like you start off as a toddler with a set of power tools and you don't know what you're doing, but by the end of the game you're like a carpenter with a workshop filled with things that you know what every single little tool is used for. That's the best way that I can describe it, because you start off with the shotgun and the machine gun, and they seem essentially interchangeable. You use shotgun at short range, you use machine gun at long range, and then you start to get more and more and more weapons, and then you start to figure out what each one of these weapons is actually used for. And the way that you get better at the game is not because you get more health, or you get more ammo, or you get more armor. Well, that certainly does help, but what it is that you know how to deal with each one of the enemies in the correct fashion. For instance, in the very first level, you're mainly fighting soldiers and imps until you get a mechanical, whatever they're called, mech brain spider things, who just pops into the level and you see it and you're just like, what the hell is this thing? I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, but the game tells you exactly like what to do. Like, this is its weak spot, aim for the cannon and you'll be good. And then you're like, oh, okay. And throughout the first level, the only 3 enemies that you get are the mechanoid brain things, you get the imps, and you get the soldiers. And then the game starts giving you more and more enemies, and you start figuring out how to kill the enemies. And in your mind, you start to prioritize which enemies are to be killed over the other enemies. For instance, in the ice arctic facility in the UAC cultist lab, you have a couple main enemies. You have the Revenant, which is, you know, the fly rocket dude. Then you have the Hell Knight, which is a very close range fighting kind of guy. You got the Brain Spider, and you have the Whiplash, and you have the Mancubus, and you got, I'm pretty sure I'm missing a few I can't even think of right now. But your mind, in your mind, you don't even know you're doing this, you start to prioritize every single one. Which one do I want to kill first? Which one is going to hit me harder with the way that I play? Personally, I play up front, close and personal. I don't like playing at far range. I will run in there with the Slayer shotgun and an RPG, do more damage to me than I do my own enemies, but regardless, that's how I like to play. So, you know, I figure out, alright, kill the Mancubus first because it can mess my day up, then kill the Whiplash because that thing can really fuck you up, and then, you know, from there, get the Hell Knight because he can't really hit you at too much far range, and he choreographs his move. Yada yada yada. I'm taking up too much time on the progression, but this does kind of move us into the next section. Exploration is an integral part of this game. Now, this is kind of where I hear the most criticism of this game come from, where people are just like, it's Doom, you don't jump around with the monkey bars and climb walls. Instead, you just supposed to run forward and shoot. You run and shoot. That's all you do. It's Doom. To them, I say, get the fuck out, because it evolves the gameplay so much. I mean, if you just want to run forward and shoot, I mean, you're more than welcome to. I'm pretty sure you can get like a Doom 1 or Doom 2 download from 1993 for free nowadays, but this is 2019-2020, or this game came out in 2020, so it's 2020. It is current year, sir. And games have evolved from being 2D pixel sprites, where the entire game was literally just a two-dimensional game that they just made look 3D. But with Doom Eternal, the jumping around, the double dashing, the double jumping, and all of that opens the game up to you so much. And not just the combat, but with the exploration as well. It opens everything up, and it truly does make it feel crazy, like you are some sort of hate-filled god destroying the demons. It ties everything together whenever it comes to combat, because if you stand in one place, and the game even tells you this, don't stand around, constantly be moving or you will die. And at first I didn't take that advice seriously, and I just tried to headshot everything with the sniper rifle. Then I started getting killed by the more high level demons, and then I started running around, getting up in their face and trying to pull off a bunch of cheeky moves. It really does open up the combat and the game world so much, because you're able to use the way that you kind of can figure out, like, oh, I think I see a climb wall over there, but the mission's telling me to go this way. There's probably a secret over there. So you go over there, and voila, you find a sentinel crystal, which allows you to get more armor, health, or ammo. So the exploration is truly, and the movement is truly integral to this game. If people don't like it, they can just fuck right off, because that made it feel so much fun. Being able to blast a Mancubus in the face with a double RPG shot, hop on, swing off of a little bar thing, pull out my minigun, and then just unload on some lesser demons and then crack their skulls open and rip their spines out for HP was just awesome. So for that, I'd say just ignore those people. It's not as tedious as they want to make it out to be. It makes the combat feel so much better, and it opens up the levels in a lot of different verticality and as well as maneuverability. So I give that I give that a 10 out of 10 alone. Final thoughts and final score. I'm giving Doom Eternal 10 out of 10. Like, this is definitely one of the best games I've played in years, and it is the most fun that I've had with a game in years. I mean, whenever I'd have to go to classes and whatnot, I would sit there and I'd feel like I was in middle school or elementary school again, like waiting to get home to play, I don't know, Minecraft or whatever, because it had just come out and it was so new and it was so much fun, and like that's how this felt. It felt like it's one of those games that you just doesn't come around that often, but 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Like, if you haven't played this game yet, I envy you, because I will never get to experience the awesomeness that was this game through fresh eyes. Then, you know, I'll never get to experience it for the first time ever again, and I'll never get to beat it for the first time ever again, because beating it for the first time, oh my gosh, it felt so, I just felt like a badass. I don't know, like words cannot describe how awesome it felt. All in all, great game. Go buy it, go play it. And that's all for this one. Peace.